Welcome to Industry News. I'm Enoch.
And I'm Brenna.
And today we're going to talk about the Activision Blizzard layoffs, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and the rest of the direct news. A week ago, around 800 employees of Activision Blizzard were let go, with Blizzard being hit particularly hard. This comes after the company's most profitable year ever, although the total was still below corporate expectations. The layoffs were centered around esports, publishing, and marketing divisions. This is coupled with reports of executive pressure being put on Blizzard to cut costs and release games more frequently. Our main employee described the events as a bloodbath. All right, so what do you make of the Activision Blizzard layoffs? It's a ton. It's more than I've ever heard of happening.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like 8% of their entire staff. Yeah. And that's including like Activision Blizzard, they merged, and now that's 8% of them. I can't believe that in 1 year that all of the executives can take these massive bonuses.
Yep.
And you can record record profits.
But it wasn't what their expectations were.
Yeah.
They said we're going to make this much, and they didn't make that much, which is bad, even though they still made billions of dollars.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, these companies are public. They trade stocks. Yeah. There's investors involved. And, you know, the board of directors is trying to make money, and the developers just get stomped on. And not even developers. Right now, it's mainly all of the, like, marketing people, esports, that.
Yeah.
And
not the strict coding as much.
Yeah,
because they want more games from Blizzard, so they're leaving them alone and taking away most of what they see as ancillary to game development, even though really marketing's pretty important.
No kidding. Like, I mean, Apex Legends did literally just launch out of the blue, but not every game can do that.
No, not every game.
Not
very
at all.
few, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's a very special circumstance that was what was good for Apex. Most need more.
Yeah. I mean, these investors see the short term. They don't look at the longevity.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, we want goodwill. It's like, we want record profits.
Yeah. Every company, kind of, any public company at least, kind of has to deal with this. Like EA has to deal with their investors being like, hey, you didn't make as much money as you said you would. You still made a lot, but not as much as you said you would, so we're angry. Even Nintendo had to lower their forecast for how much they thought the Switch would sell, because initially they thought 20 million units, but it ended up being around 17 million units. Still a whole lot, still the best-selling console of the year, but they had to sort of walk back some of it to not make investors angry.
So we finally got more details about Fire Emblem 3 Houses during the Nintendo Direct on Tuesday. Coming out July 26, 2019, FE3 Houses will follow the story of a professor at a magical school that takes his students on exciting quests and perilous adventures as they explore 3 separate kingdoms. Featuring the classic grid-based combat the series is known for, this will be the first new main series Fire Emblem since 2015's Fire Emblem Fates. So what do you make of Fire Emblem 3 Houses?
Well, Fire Emblem Harry Potter, as I'm going to call it, because it looks like the Hogwarts houses, but not Slytherin. I think it's interesting that you're a professor, because I feel like normally in these types of games you're like a king or a prince or something, and this you're just a teacher, which I think is cool. I enjoy that part.
I'm excited for it because it actually makes sense that there's a reason that everybody follows your directions, is because you're their teacher. But also, we didn't really get any story details.
I feel like we got more story than gameplay details.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of, I feel like a lot of cutscenes.
Well, there's a lot of world building.
Yeah, a lot of world building.
Not necessarily a lot of like,
a lot of shots
what
of the
we're
map,
actually going
lots
to
of
do.
animatics of people walking and looking dramatically at things, more than the actual like grids and stuff.
Well, I'm excited for it.
I think it looks good, yeah.
And did you want to talk about anything else?
Yeah, I want to talk about some other of the Direct things, because there was a lot in this Direct, a lot that I enjoyed. Starting off with Super Mario Maker 2, made me really excited because I loved the first one. And I'm very happy that we're getting another one on the Switch, because I don't always kind of hoped for like a port of Super Mario Maker to Switch. I didn't want them to just forget about it, because it sold really well despite being on the Wii U, or I guess I should say it sold really well for being on the Wii U, and I loved it. I played a ton of it. So I'm glad that's coming out in June. Sure, there'll be a lot of just super hard, angry levels, or just like the auto run levels. But I'm excited because they added slopes now. They made a big deal of in the trailer.
Did the first one not have slopes?
No, I think that was why they started it like that. You can do slopes now, and probably co-op. I don't know why Luigi would be so prominently featured if they wouldn't have co-op. I hope they do at least. And
that's true.
New graphical style. They got Super Mario 3D Land with Cat Mario in there. I don't know if it'll actually be 3D. Probably not, but there's at least Cat Mario in there. One that I thought was super funny was Tetris 99 or Tetris Battle Royale, because that's been a joke for like the last year and a half since Battle Royales got big, that was going to be the next thing at E3. Everyone's like, oh, yep, Tetris Battle Royale is going to be announced. And it actually got announced. And it's great. It's free with Nintendo Online subscription. So I want to play that. It's just Tetris, but there's
Yeah,
also
like, that
other
seems
people
so
playing Tetris at
silly.
the same time. It's great. I love they did that. I think that's super funny. And then the last thing is the remake of Link's Awakening, which I think looks awesome. I love the art style.
It looks great. Like, I had a thing when Link Between Worlds was first announced. Like, I was not sure about like the painting on the side kind of thing, art style.
Yeah.
Like, but I think this works. I think this art style works really well with that game.
Yeah, the sort of toy, plastic looking, and then the beautiful opening animatic was probably my favorite part. All right. But that's all the time we have for industry news this week. We'll be back at a later date with more interesting information. I'm Enoch.
And I've been Brenna.
And back to the show.